Welcome home to Tall Poppies. This is the second half of the initial interview with Caleb and Andrew Richards, who are the founders of the music collaboration app Starving Artist. At the end of the interview, please hit like, please hit subscribe, and please hit the notification bell so we can share with you all the latest updates regarding these two exceptional people and their amazing app.
Long term, what we're looking for is more of a tech talent to join our team. Looking for probably 3 different devs at the beginning so they can code the back end of the app.
Right.
And then eventually a CTO and growing that side, because that is not our strengths at all. And so, yeah, we really are looking for the tech side of the team and the business to really, that's kind of our next priority, getting funding, getting that team going.
Yeah, because you know what, you've got your sunk costs and then identifying where your weaknesses are.
Yep.
What's the next dependable? So what are you needing next to move to the next stage?
Funding.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then you've got that all planned out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. We have our milestones laid out for the next year solidly, and then obviously after that things will probably change and pivot and everything, but we have the vision, the mission, everything, our plan lined out. It's just ready to execute, and that just takes the funding. And
so who helped you with the planning? Did you work that out for yourself, or did you get some guidance onto how to do and what to do?
It's been a mix. It's been a mix of a few different mentors here in the area that have given us some guidance, a few different books. We read the Strategizer book. That's a great book to read if you're building a company. Definitely check that out. Yeah, just a combination of those resources within the guidance from our mentors here in the local area. And that's got us to where we are.
So what do Mum and Dad think?
They're pretty excited. Yeah. Dad being a music teacher.
Well, both your parents play music, don't they? That's how they met.
Yeah.
Yeah. They met in the marching band. Yeah.
Yep.
So they're really supportive. We want to get them involved down the road some way. We want to have a nonprofit arm of the company where we can give back to music programs because they don't have much funding. A lot of public schools, their music programs are getting dropped, or they're struggling because they don't have a lot of funding. And so getting our dad involved some way where we can give back and create a platform through the schools where we can kind of help that young talent kind of grow and develop and then move into the opportunity and supply them with funding and stuff.
So why don't they have a percentage of the football team's funding go to the bands?
I think they should.
That's a good idea.
They should.
Yeah. Especially
Seems
with especially with AI and robotics. Like as that grows into the future, I think it's going to be more and more important to be creative. And so it's like we need that. We need that in the schools.
So, what do you see the intersection is of AI, machine learning, robotics, even drones and music?
I think there's a lot of potential, a lot of intersection.
It'd be really cool. Yeah. We have a friend who's really big in AI, and we've considered down the road working with him to create a technology where it's an AI that can create music on its own.
They actually already have. Yeah. They're already building that.
Yeah, I'd imagine.
One of the crossovers that I could see, I don't know when this would happen, but it would be amazing as a creative, would be having kind of like Elon Musk. Have you heard of his Neuralink?
Yes.
So it's like the brain-computer interface.
Yes.
Having that hooked up to like producing like your digital audio workstation, so that instead of you, like the biggest barrier to entry right now is like you think of an idea and then you have to actually physically put it down, and it takes time. And it's just a lot of times you lose that spark, you lose that idea that you had. And so if there was something that integrated and you think music and it converts it to the computer.
Can you imagine how freeing that would be for people who may be illiterate or who are incapacitated as a form of therapy?
Yeah. It'd be cool.
Wouldn't that be amazing?
It'd be really cool.
Oh, gosh.
If you can just hear it and it just flows out of your brain into the computer.
Don't know when that's going to happen, but...
Well, it might be happening now. We don't know.
Yeah, it could be.
DARPA might be doing it. We don't know. Yeah, conquer the world by music.
Yeah. Yeah.
So back in the 60s, we had the psychedelic revolution of music, you know, how it influenced music. What do you think's a new revolution in music? Is it AI, machine learning, or what do you think it is?
It's a good question.
I feel like the revolution that we would like to create is one of collaboration, because there's never been a better time to be a creator, and all the talent is out there and it's only expanding. And it's everywhere around the world. And so I think that could be the next revolution, is connecting them and empowering them, giving them a culture and a movement that's bigger than them, where it's focused on collaboration, contribution, and setting up that path.
Leveraging, like making it not like right now, I feel like the general view from society in a nutshell is like it's more like a hobby, it's more of like a frowned upon path to take, it's more uncertain, like more risks along the way, that type
So you're
of
bringing
thing.
respectability to music, to being an artist.
Yeah, where it's like a good thing, and society, like you're championed to do it, because it's literally like, who doesn't like music? It's one of the social drivers, like it drives culture. And so I think owning that and then leveraging that influence to make an amazing living, and then also drive the culture in a positive direction is super important. I think that's what we want to create.
I think there's benefits to this that you may not even be aware of, or people aren't aware of, is culturally. You're going to have this cross-cultural pollination from people, because technology is asexual, it's acultural, it's a-religious, it's a-racial. And if you have this crossing over and this cross-pollination, via music, but also because music is so connected to maths and science, that there could be this wonderful spawning of things that we're not even aware of. And your platform really might be a driver for that.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
No, it's I'm sure we'd love to hear what all of you think about where their platform could really be an influencer in the future. There'll probably be a Nobel Prize in the future. Nobel Prize for music, wouldn't that be wonderful?
That'd be cool.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
We're talking about Grammys in the future for individual selves, but that's down the road.
We got the Starving Artist Award, but I don't think it's going to be much time before you'll see people who are receiving Grammys or other awards who would not have been there except for your platform.
Yeah, I think so too. The talent's already out there. It's not because of us, it's because they already have it. We're just bringing that framework that they need, the ecosystem they need in order to make that actually happen. So
which is the exciting thing. We're learning how to construct a mass movement right now from a mentor down in Boise. His name's Russell Brunson. And so figuring out how we can reframe what it means to be a starving artist into a positive thing, meaning you're hungry for it, you have the passion, you have the talent, and it's a matter of time until you make that.
So I love that reframing.
From
something that's enforced upon people in their ability to do what they want, and then turning it on its head to being a passion.
Being a positive, something people
hungry.
can.
I love that. That's brilliant. So who's your favorite brand?
Our favorite artist is a guy named Seven Lions. He's a DJ and producer. Our first rave we ever went to back in high school, our senior year, we saw him, and that's like the moment where we knew that we wanted to create our own music just like him, and he's been our like number one inspiration ever since then. So you create, and so you're the creators of our lead-in music. So what do you love best about how do you describe your music that you create and play? And or is it, are you limited by a label, or? No,
we're not signed, so we're not limited or anything.
Or even genres, like we like experience. Right now we haven't really honed in on a specific sound to say, because we like creating everything, and like we've played everything. We've done classical, we've done rock, we've done pep band, we've done bluegrass. Now we're focused, our sound I would say is probably electronic. It's melodic, emotional, high energy.
Trance.
I love it because it's very Euro tech, but then some disco, but then you've got this, for being so young, you have this depth and richness of your composing that is epic.
Thanks.
I mean, so anyone out there in the movie making world needs a score for something like Lord of the Rings style. It really is.
That's
amazing.
kind of what we're attracted to, is that cinematic type feel mixed with otherworldly Like, I don't know.
It can take where you're at and it can transport you to another place.
I think your music would really suit SpaceX.
That'd be cool. Collaboration with
I just
SpaceX.
think that it pairs well with the concept of SpaceX, you know.
Nice.
It's cool.
Yeah, don't you think?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Now that you say it, I never thought of that before.
So when you listen to their music, everyone, just maybe you can do a pairing or where you think their music would fit in with a favorite movie or a entrepreneurial theme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Who's your favorite entrepreneur?
I don't know if I could say I have a favorite. I have some role models. Personally, lately it's been Ed Milet. Gerard Adams, of course, our mentor, he's amazing. And then Ed Milet is probably one of the guys that we really want to pull into our orbit here shortly and really get involved with him as a friend, as a mentor. And yeah, he's a great guy. If you watch his stuff, you know, but if you don't, you should go check him out. He's amazing.
Mention us to him.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah.
He's here in Coeur d'Alene too. He has a house here in Coeur d'Alene, so
all the good people are here.
Oh yeah.
It's the best place.
Isn't it funny how there's this, you know, there's a book called The Geography of Genius, and they really do need to start putting in Coeur d'Alene into it because there's this incredible confluence of people coming here that are, and some people have already been here for 20 years, and some of the founders of Silicon Valley have quietly been living here and then just going backwards and forwards there for 30 years.
Wow.
Cool. Haven't you noticed that there's just this bizarre...
There's an energy about the area.
And a huge percentage of people who are here,
Yeah.
you would not have thought that they would be here.
Yeah.
I think it's nice because you have the mix of being incognito, where you can live a really nice style of life and like tempo of life, but then you're also close to innovation, like the Innovation Collective, and
which we're all members of.
Yeah.
And the cutting edge, and then you're close to, of course, international airport, and so you have access, and it's a nice area.
Yeah, and we're close to Canada.
Close
what else?
to Canada.
Yeah,
True.
Everyone wants to be Canadian.
Yeah.
Secretly, unless they want to be New Zealand.
New Zealand would be cool.
Here, also in Coeur d'Alene, we've got this thriving art community.
Yeah.
And we've got quite a few movie makers that are here as well.
Yeah.
So connecting this, what you're doing would be a great connection for people who also generationally may feel a disconnect from younger artists. So this could actually provide a platform that also reignites older artists or producers or influencers.
Yeah,
For sure.
I think so. I think a piece of some crossover there could be maybe some type of, not like mentor program, but some type of share, like the older guys that have the experience. Maybe you've been in the industry for 30 years, you're a producer, you can share some of that knowledge through the platform to the new producers coming up. I think there could be some sharing of just some magic to happen there.
I like the idea of where you don't have to sort of assign this to someone. You can actually go online and diddle around and see yourself who and what is out there.
Yeah.
And, you know, in some ways it's going to keep these other guys on their toes.
Yeah.
So I'm curious about, so you were 1 pound, 12 ounces about each when you were born?
Yeah, about.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what was that like for your parents that they shared with you?
I think it was pretty stressful for them because we were in neonatal care units for 90 days. The first 90 days, they couldn't hold us or anything. And one of us had to have like an emergency surgery or something.
I don't remember
either, but I think they were, we had a lot of people praying for us. There's a lot of faith and everything. And so, yeah, I think they were really relieved when we got released, came home.
So is faith important to you too now?
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
It is.
Because a lot of people don't like to talk about that. You know, you've got these extremes, those that sort of want to like convert everyone.
Right.
And then others that just genuinely live with it.
Yeah.
How do you think that how you carry that in this voyage, this journey with you?
I would say it comes down to 2 words, faith and patience. Just understanding that we're on the right path and knowing, for us, it's believing in God, whether you call it the universe, God, spirit, whatever. For us, it's God. And I think that it's just that reassurance that you're on the right path. You're everything happens for you, not to you. And it just comes down to having the patience to understand that there's going to be ups and downs. It's going to take time, but that's all part of the process. And ultimately, you can still learn to be blissfully dissatisfied. That's how Ed Milet says it. It's finding the happiness, the joy in this moment where you're at, but not being satisfied with that.
So it creates this tension for you that pushes you forward. And, you know, because I see that you two are the sort that when you were out knocking on doors, and you guys are not afraid of work. You're not afraid of disappointment. No one likes it.
Right.
But you shored each other up through some fairly tough times.
Yeah.
And you seem to use it as Hafez called it, polishing the mirror. So you use those adversities to refine you even more.
Yeah.
Would you like to share how you two helped each other and collaborated as a fairly forcible team when you're out on the sales force?
Knocking doors. Yeah.
Yeah, we would help each other stay motivated and train in different things. And we were kind of a pretty good team when it came to that, because one of us would be, it takes a lot of like getting motivated and getting your mind in the right place before you go out and knock and interact with people. And so if one of us was kind of off, the other one would help. And so that was kind of nice. We were always able to keep each other up and push each other really hard, and that was fun.
I think one of the benefits, we call it twin power. It's always having that accountability partner, always having somebody you can, they can be a sounding board. They can help kind of like bring you up to that even middle ground, not too high, not too low. But also when it comes down to actual training, like sales training, practicing your pitch, practicing rebuttals, role plays, that type of thing, we would do that every single night. And I think that's what ultimately was a piece of the puzzle that led to us doing so well in the door-to-door space.
So you actually were practicing. A lot
Oh,
of people
yeah,
go to
every
this
day.
class and don't do that.
Oh yeah.
I remember you were saying something before when we've been chatting at other times, which resonated with me, was when I was putting packages together with oil and gas. It was every time you got to know, you had to look at it like it was statistics.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like you were just one closer.
Yep.
It will happen. It's just you don't know what the
Matter.
numbers. But
Yeah.
you looked at it that too in that way, didn't you? That
Yeah.
it was you actually created a formula.
Yeah, we would track our numbers, and also when we would get a no, we would find a way to get a small win, is what we called them. And so whether that's someone being rude and you being nice, or that's you like getting a drink of water, or making someone's day brighter, different ways to have little wins, those were really motivating.
It kept the momentum, and then it's just every no is one step closer to yes. We've all heard that, but we actually broke it down to how many doors are we knocking, how many people have said no, how many basically how many people we got inside and pitched, and you break that down to where you understand you close 1 out of every 3 people you talk to. I think we got down to 1 in 4, 1 in 3.
Wow.
And so you know that if you just went 6 houses and you haven't closed anybody, the next 2 they're going to be sales. And so it's just understanding that it's just a numbers game.
Well, you were taking notice. You were paying attention.
Yeah, using that as fuel instead of like letting that get to your head and demotivating you and be like, oh, I'm never going to make sale. Letting that fuel you because you know you're on the right path.
So you turned it into something that was more objective and not as personal, and then you chose how you framed it.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a very mature skill set there.
It was.
Thanks. It was from our mentors. They helped. Yeah, they helped kind of shape that and ingrain that into us from day one.
And so this is how you developed grit and positiveness, and it's certainly carrying forward now because nothing's deterring you.
Yeah.
There's lots of tests, lots of moments where we've thought about going back. We've had the thought of quitting, just like anybody does, but then it's making the decision to keep on going. And so pushing through.
Yeah.
Could you have done it without just one of you? Do you think that the power of the twin power is really what's kept you?
Yeah. The twin power makes it so much. It makes it feel like an adventure. Like, for instance, the first time we went broke, we were in Portland, Oregon in the middle of winter in like December, living in a family's Airbnb in their basement with $50 between us.
We invested all of our money into our studio, the app
and everything, paying off our Tony Robbins. We were investing in that and different things. And so we had to decide how are we going to spend this last $50 and how we're going to live for the next week and a half on $50. And so we ended up getting a salad, a big salad, and then a big bag of nuts. And we would eat one big meal of salad and nuts a day. And then we would use the other little bit of money to drive out to our area and knock on doors. And
This was in the middle of the winter. It was like 20 degrees outside and getting dark at 5 o'clock. People are getting home at 5. And so you're like out there knocking doors like a crazy person just because we had to keep on going in order to hit our quota, get paid our overrides for managing. And
that would have been
tough.
one of those moments where it would be really hard to push to do that if there was just one of us, but it was an adventure because there were two of us. We knew we were going to make it.
It's tough when you're by yourself.
Yeah.
And so it must have been such an advantage to have just someone to share the misery with.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so Tony Robbins. Tell us about Tony Robbins.
Tony Robbins. Yeah. We ended up we finished our second year as top 10 reps in the company we sold for, and because of that they brought us to a Tony Robbins seminar, and we ended up, it was amazing, life-changing. Like it was an incredible experience, and it was actually at that event that we decided to begin building the app and go full-time with the company. And we actually ended up also investing into his Master University program, so we can go to all of his other seminars. And I've been basically getting coaching from that. And then also in December we're going to Date with Destiny. It's his premier week-long seminar down in Florida. So we're super excited for that experience.
I hear that it's exhausting.
Yeah.
I can't imagine how he feels.
Yeah, apparently he is. He's sweating and So what have you learned mostly from that route? Obviously it was the nexus, it was the tipping point for you. What specifically inspired you? Because you already had this, you'd had the Tinder spark.
Had the idea. I think it was just that, like, we got in the habit of taking massive action. Like, we invested 10 grand into ourselves each when we didn't have it on the spot. The next day it was just easy to call the company and get on the call with them, talk about the app, and then they said, okay, it's gonna be 15 grand. It's like, okay, we can put that together the next month. And so it was just easier to take bigger action because he gets you in that state where you're fully immersed in taking big, like,
so you're not micromanaging.
You're taking like big actions. So I think it just was that we were just had momentum, and it was already easy to take big action. So
you take big action and then you fill in behind.
Yeah.
The rest works itself out, chunking it into bigger pieces.
Well, to get a business moving along, you really do need to have some weight behind it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just
Yeah, exactly.
That covers a whole lot of words.
Yeah, true.
So, in the future, you're thinking about bringing in visual artists, so the ones that would do the covers or just art, or
videographers,
fashion,
photographers.
Would you be covering, what sort of art are you going to be talking about eventually with Starving Artist?
We're probably going to keep it more visual and auditory to start. Just because they have a lot of crossover. If you're making videos, like what we found is some of our buddies making a viral YouTube channel right now, they need amazing music, and so they use our music. And then if you're a musician, it's a great distribution strategy to get people to hear your stuff.
And so that's another chunk that you can bring in as well as distributors.
Yeah. We've considered once you have the user base, kind of helping artists distribute their music too through our platform, or partnering with a partner and having them help do that exclusively.
There's a lot of people that already distribute music.
So what you're really inspiring are multiple platforms of entrepreneurs. So those that are currently doing what they're doing, but also those that might want to get into music or the visual side, but may feel that they don't have the talent, but could bring in a skill set regarding management or distribution or
down the road.
Even the accounting side of things would be very handy.
If you're a talent seeker, whatever that looks like, it could be we view it as music business, but it could really be anybody who wants to find the talent.
Fan base, that's a group alone. It doesn't seem like it's formed, but there really is a potential there for people to organize fans.
talking about the fan base and everything, and potential acquirers, we think YouTube might actually, well, Google, the parent company, then YouTube, because they also are getting into music. They have music, they have video, and so by creating that ecosystem for musicians, videographers, photographers, graphic designers, I think there could be some crossover there with YouTube as they get into music streaming more and more.
What about overseas entities?
Yeah, I mean, it's scalable worldwide. So I don't know who those big players would be, but I know that those creators are out there.
Yeah. You might be creating your own.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Never know.
It could grow into that. Yeah.
Well, you've got the vision and the work ethic.
Yeah.
You've taken something from nothing to, it's going to be launched into something that's, it all starts with a thought.
Yeah.
And then you act.
Yep.
We're going to have so much fun following you. So I'm going to hand this to you, and in the next 3 months, share with us what you need, what you want, and where you plan to be in 3 months' time, and we're going to check up on you.
Okay.
And we're just going to love following this. And if anyone's got any questions and any suggestions or any contacts or any sources of funding, so what you need, what you want, and where you'll be in 3 months' time.
Do we do it together?
Yes, you can.
Okay. You want to hold it? Let's see. 3 months. Within 3 months, we'll have funding. We'll have a team put together. We'll have the back end of the app built. We'll either be, ideally we'll be beta launched, beta testing. That of course could be pushed back a little, but let's aim high. Yeah, we're going to be beta testing. We'll have an office here in Coeur d'Alene. We'll be living up here around mentors in the network full time. And essentially we'll be working towards finding product market fit. So what's the fit between the product itself and what actually fits the needs and the wants and solves the problems for our users. Once we find that fit, then we're going to be looking to scale it in public launch and go from there.
Are you going to go IPO?
We see one of the major streaming platforms probably at the end of the day, it'll probably be Apple Music or Google that will acquire us. So that's kind of the long-term strategy.
Giving one of them a competitive advantage over the others.
Amazon.
I
predict Amazon's going to be interested.
Could be. I think it'll be one of those because Microsoft just bought Spotify. So now you have like 3 or 4 major players, and really that's where the industry's going. The labels are going to be displaced. The streaming platforms are going to be the labels. And so aligning our interests with them.
Because they had that capacity already for really individual, each person is their own platform, so to speak. This is going to be really interesting. So we'd like to see also what you all think, what their future is going to be, and who's going to acquire them or partner with them.
Yeah,
but
partner.
Well done, guys. You just,
Thanks.
you took something from a concept.
Yeah.
You didn't have the resources. That didn't stop you. You went off and you made it happen. You worked really, really hard.
Yeah.
And nothing's stopping you. And it's just,
Thanks.
you're just so inspiring to so many people. And so we're going to be really excited to be following you.
Appreciate that.
We'll see you in 3 months.
Yeah,
awesome.
Excited for it.
Thank you for watching the video. I know that you're excited in following these people. Hit like, hit subscribe, and hit the notification bell. And we look forward to hearing from you and seeing you in your journey too.